Negative self-talk is far more common than positive self-talk, and self-acceptance is a very powerful skill that we have to develop in order to decrease the suffering that comes along with negative self-talk. I'm Lucas. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about how self-acceptance is a very crucial skill for living a very powerful and meaningful life. All good lives, at least by my definition, have high degrees of self-love, high degrees of an ability to accept yourself, because what is the opposite of accepting yourself? It's attacking yourself, which is suffering. And growing up, we're unconsciously and indirectly and even directly taught to not accept ourselves. And a very interesting example of this is when we have to go to the bathroom and we're taught to hold it in. We're taught to ignore our needs, ignore our desires, ignore how we feel in order to get the approval of the teacher. Do as the teacher says so that you don't get in trouble. Be a good little boy. Do as you're told. We're taught to basically ignore ourselves in order to get some other need met because we're afraid. And we're even told, of course, to, let's say, stop crying, be a man, or we're shamed for certain behaviors, and, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can possibly happen. But in many ways, we're taught to not accept ourselves, which is very problematic because we have a very big spike in mental illness. We have a massive spike in people suffering from depression, anxiety, fear, self-criticism, self-judgment. Basically, a major part of all of that is the inability to accept ourselves. All of that is a very direct reflection of our inability to accept ourselves. There's a lot of other reasons why it exists, but that is a very major point. I'm going to just stay on that point for this video. So the absence of self-acceptance is one of the most common forms of suffering in modern society. And when we are unable to accept ourselves, we can't accept other people as well, right? As corny as that might sound, this isn't a hippy-dippy video of let's all accept each other and ourselves and then sing kumbaya. This is very practical. If you're constantly struggling against yourself, your ability to create meaningful relationships and connections to other people will decrease. If you are able to accept yourself and be present and grounded and stable within your own being in this present experience, in the present moment, your ability to connect with other people, accept them, and help them and provide value to them increases. So when we're capable of remaining with our own difficulties and accepting our own difficulties, we are able to remain with and accept the difficulties of other people as well. And all of this pain is a catalyst for growth. All pain is a catalyst for growth. For example, right, we got sick and tired of being in the cold, so we were able to build warm environments for ourselves, like homes. We got tired of being in the dark, so we made lights. We got tired of always needing to go out to hunt food, so we made farms. Basically, there was some form of pain that we experienced and we wanted to eliminate it. It's the same thing with a lot of the mental and emotional suffering that happens nowadays. Basically, all of the suffering that we're seeing is an opportunity for us to discover ourselves at very deeper levels. It's at very deep levels. It's an opportunity for us to examine our own consciousness, to examine ourselves and examine how we create our suffering, the exact mechanisms within ourselves that continuously perpetuate human suffering. And the large-scale suffering that we see, like the massive mental health crisis in the world, is an opportunity for us to grow collectively. More and more people are realizing that the path to harmony, peace, fulfillment, and living a good life require you to know thyself. They require you to deeply examine your inner world. Your inner world is incredibly complicated, and we're never taught how to properly navigate it. We're never taught how to meditate, how to build self-awareness, how to build deep emotional intelligence, how to raise our consciousness. We have no spiritual intelligence as a species. We're very, very deeply lacking in spiritual intelligence. So how do you actually begin to accept yourself more? You have to increase the capacity to hold yourself gently. You have to increase your capacity to be aware of yourself when you are in the midst of a lack of self-acceptance. So awareness is the most powerful thing, the most useful resource in this situation. Without awareness, you're going to be stuck within the unconscious pattern of attacking yourself. So some general habits you can do are to meditate, to visualize your younger self and hold them gently. Maybe your 4-year-old self, 6-year-old self, your infant self, and to just hold them gently, give them a hug, and actually give them a lot of compassion. You also have to engage your heart area. Right? Your heart is a massive energy center, and you need to really engage in this process on a very emotional level. You have to generate the feeling of love for yourself and compassion for yourself. It's not just like a rational thing where you say it in your mind. It's not going to do anything. You need to engage with this process emotionally. That's how you're really going to begin to rewire yourself. So you also have to acknowledge your negative self-talk and your lack of self-acceptance. You have to really acknowledge it. You got to be very aware of it. You can't ignore it or sweep it under the rug. You need the capacity to just observe yourself and be aware of yourself and not judge yourself, to just observe it neutrally, right? That's why I said meditation is so important, because that's basically what it is. You're just watching, and you're just not zoning out into a thought or a distraction or junk food or whatever it is. You're just sitting there and you're watching, and you're releasing your resistance to the present moment, which then increases your acceptance of the present moment and everything that is occurring within the present moment, whether it's stuff going on in your mind, tension in your body, holding patterns and stuck energy in your body, an emotion that you're feeling. And over time, your ability to accept these things increases, and your sense of wellness also increases. Your ability to feel good within your own body increases. So don't ignore your own inability to accept yourself. You don't want to disconnect further from the internal world. You want to be very honest. Truth is very important here. You want to be very truthful to yourself about your inability to accept yourself, about your own tension in your body and your contractions and your closures, and basically all of the stuff that prevents you from reaching a place of self-acceptance. Another really important thing is to just take good care of yourself. Like, you need to actually build clarity by eating the proper foods, mainly fruits and vegetables, and by exercising and by stretching and being, having a very flexible body, right? You don't have to be like a contortionist, but stretch. Another really important point is to have good relationships with people who are also supportive of you. This is also really going to help you. You need to be with people who have an ability to support you and kind of nurture you, right? And you have to have the ability to nurture yourself and even other people. I'm not, saying that you become like a wimp or something. Like it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need these stable, supportive systems in your life so that you're basically able to increase your acceptance of yourself. It's not like you're becoming, like a wimp. It's actually quite the opposite. You're becoming more grounded within yourself, more aware of all the pain that you face and all the things that cause that pain. You're also increasing your ability to handle that pain and not repress it. You're increasing your ability for basically truth as well. See, the life of continuously attacking yourself is far more wimpy than the life of continuously building self-love. Because in order to actually build self-love, first thing you have to start doing is begin to notice all of the shadows inside of yourself that exist, which is very hard to do. You have to be very honest about them, which is, again, very hard to do. And you have to begin cleaning it up. It takes a lot of courage to really go into your inner world and begin cleaning out the junk that exists in there. So it's really not like a wimpy, soy boy, hippy-dippy, new agey process. It's quite the opposite. And it's actually mandatory for being a healthy human and just being a grounded person in the world who's capable of living with an open heart and providing value to the world. See, a lot of people can have a lot of resistance to topics like this. It can be too girly, but that's just not really true. That's just a block that you have. So your inner tug of war needs a lot of self-compassion. Your resistance needs love. Your repressed emotions need love. Your delusions and your manipulating needs love. It needs awareness and love, awareness and acceptance. And over time, you get better and better at it. You have to cultivate this kind of relationship to yourself. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen because, you think something in your head. It's something that you put into existence through practices like meditation and visualizations and like actually taking care of yourself, right? And becoming aware in real time of when you're beating yourself up, and then really generating the feeling of self-compassion. And really, what else are you going to do? Like, what is the alternative here? To beat yourself up until you're 90 years old and then die? Wouldn't you rather just live in the world with a very open heart and a just open being who just has a lot of care for yourself and all sentient beings? Or would you rather be a closed-hearted, cold, self-judging bastard? It's amazing because you get to decide. You're free to pick whatever it is you actually really, really desire deep down, right? Just determine what it is you really want. So this is fairly difficult. This is no easy journey that I'm putting out here. That's why I offer one-to-one coaching. You can book a free call. Link is in the description. I offer a lot of support and guidance. And you really need to stay on track. This is something that you need to do every single day. It's not like something you do on Friday nights after work, and then you go to the bathtub and you light some candles and then you take yourself shopping and this is self-love. No, self-love is something that you have to practice basically every single day, just like building muscles, right? If you want to build amazing muscles, go to the gym every day and lift weights. It requires effort, right? You have to build this relationship to yourself, just like how building a relationship to another human being takes time, energy, takes your attention. You have to continuously give to it. It's the exact same thing with yourself and these practices and building self-acceptance. You have to give to it continuously over time, and the relationship gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Just like how if you want to build fantastic biceps, you have to give to it over time, and your biceps will get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's it for this video. Check out my coaching if you're interested. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for supporting me, and I hope you have a fantastic day.